Welcome back, friends. I'm doing a species spotlight on another fantastic tree for Central and North Florida food forest, that being the mulberries. I say mulberries plural because there's basically 3 species plus a hybrid of a couple of those. So there's several mulberries and they're all a little bit different. You got Morus alba, the white mulberry, Morus rubra, the red mulberry, and Morus nigra, the black mulberry. And then you've got crosses, usually between the white mulberry and the red mulberry, like Illinois everbearing, for example. The everbearings are often a cross. The black mulberries, Morus nigra, they're better suited for South Florida. They're more of a tropical, warm weather species. This one right here in the picture is a Morus alba, and it was only about 18 inches tall when I planted it earlier this year. See if you can see how tall it is. So it's much taller than me. I'm looking up at it here. It's a good 2 feet taller. So it's 8 feet tall, and I don't think it was even 2 feet tall when I put it in the ground this year. So that's how fast they grow. These are excellent trees for growing fast and providing fruit really quickly. I'll probably have fruit on this tree next year. So the ones I really recommend for Central and North Florida are the native red mulberry, Morus rubra. Let's walk over here and take a look at one in the garden. The everbearing, like Illinois everbearing or dwarf everbearing. I think there's one called Thai everbearing. These mulberries are really good. Mulberry trees are just trouble-free. They love to grow in this Florida sand. And here's a red mulberry, Morus rubra. This is a native red mulberry, native to Florida and the eastern U.S. Again, this was a tiny little seedling tree. And that reminds me of something else about the mulberries. This is a little tiny tree, probably about 12 inches tall when I planted it this year. And I planted it kind of late in the season, and it's already 6 feet tall. Yeah, 6 feet tall already. Let's keep going. Got some more mulberries out here. But with mulberries, you know, some of them are males, some of them are females, and some of them are both. So you want to look at that when you get your tree. And if you're getting a seedling, depending on what kind it is, you're not really going to know whether it's a fruiting female tree or a male tree if it's a seedling. Here's another mulberry right here, and this is an everbearing. And let's look at this one. This is an Illinois everbearing right here. I like it being multi-branched. It's going to have a lot of fruit that'll be low and easy to reach. So this is another one that was a really short little tree, less than 2 feet tall, and it's had some caterpillars chewing on it, but that's fine. It's not going to hurt a thing. But and it's a good 7 feet tall. So you can see every one of these mulberries grew really quickly this year. They're really trouble-free. They're not prone to diseases or problems. The best thing to do with these is to get them in the ground and pretty much ignore them. They say the more you try to pamper these trees with extra fertilizer, water, or anything like that, all you're doing is hurting them. They really like to just be left alone. That's how much they love to live here in Florida. They're great for wildlife. They're just usually loaded with fruit. I had a red mulberry in my garden in Weeki Wachee that was so loaded with fruit, it just fed. It seemed like every squirrel on the block, plus we had a bucket full of berries every morning for weeks. And so that's mulberry. It's just a fantastic tree, easy to grow, perfectly suited to our climate, our soil, all of our conditions. You can't miss with mulberry. I highly recommend it as a Central and North Florida fruit tree. Oh, and as far as the size of these trees, obviously the dwarf trees don't get as big as the others. They're going to be understory trees for sure. Some of these others, red mulberries, they will eventually get up into the canopy, 30 feet tall. It'll take a few years, even though they do grow pretty fast. So they'll be basically occupying the understory for several years, but eventually they could get that high. You could prune them to keep them lower and keep the fruit, make the tree sort of spread out and keep the fruit lower and easier to reach. But I like the shade. I like to let them just grow and feed the wildlife, and I can still reach plenty of berries. And I can always pull out my ladder if I want to reach up into the tree and get some more. But mulberry, excellent tree for Florida. All right, that's it for today, y'all. Thanks a lot.